Yo, 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 what's going on, world? This your boy Najee from Cigar Talk, and today I have a very special guest, man. Listen, this guy's the guy, man. This is one of the hottest promoters in the game, Mr. Eddie Hearn.
How are you, mate?
Amazing. How are you, sir?
Good. I'm liking your new abode. Very cool, yeah?
It's like my Manhattan flat.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I'm saying? I was at the press conference yesterday. I'm not the guy that takes too much out of face-offs sometimes, once in a while. That one was interesting.
Yeah,
like they didn't,
5 minutes.
Yo, dude,
yeah.
They just wouldn't stop.
Yeah.
It was like, it was a thing. Did you take anything from that?
I think that, to be honest, it's a big moment for both guys. Like, Xander's come onto the scene. He's an incredible young talent. I mean, like, ability, marketing, promotion, one of the hottest in the game right now. And then you've got Boots, who has already been doing it in Philly. Like, everyone been talking about him for a long time, but hasn't yet had this kind of fight and this kind of moment.
Yeah.
And I think that's quite refreshing in a fight, because you get two guys who are probably a little bit edgy. Generally builds to a great event on the night, because they'll be super sharp and super dialed in and excited. I mean, that's the key. Like, this isn't a Canelo fight where it's like he's doing it again, he's done it 20 times before. This is two young studs who are putting it all on the line on the biggest stage with two belts on the line. So, yeah, I liked it. I like Xander. I can't knock him. I mean, especially at 23, it's crazy. Like, that you're willing to take this risk.
It is crazy. You know, he kind of, to me, because of the age, has like the young, I really don't give a shit kind of attitude.
But that's dangerous.
It is.
Like, that's dangerous as a competitor, because I'm kind of sitting there going, wait a minute. Like, firstly, if I'm top rank, I'm just not advising you to take this fight, right? Now, a fighter can overrule that, which is, I think here, like, top rank are very cautious in their matchmaking for young fighters, which is like, you know, it's a good thing, but not always a great thing for the sport, but it's a job. And the kid says, and obviously the team say, no, we want the fight. I'm like, because when the Ortiz fight fell apart, I'm like, and the pressure's on, you know, it's like, Eddie, you had your run out at 54, right? Now we want a big fight. Okay, we've got Ortiz. That falls apart, and it's like, who are we gonna get?
Right.
Charlo's crazy. Fundora's just full, like, you know, but he don't really want to fight Boots, I don't think. But, like, Josh Kelly we've got, but he's, you know, looking around, and he wanted Zayas as well, and it just, you know, I was really surprised when it got done. Because I said to the guys in the office, I went, no chance. No chance. No, he really wants it. I said, he might want it, but they're just not going to let him take the fight. Yeah. So respect to him. You know.
Well, how do you balance that, right? Because you said that at the press conference. You're like, yeah, listen, if I was the promoter,
I'm just being honest.
We're going to Puerto Rico.
Loads of people have responded to that game. Eddie, you go, but I'm just being honest. Like, I know how to bring a fighter through, but, you know, if I believed in the fighter and I believed he was good enough to win, I wouldn't hold him back. But, and that's what I'm saying, it's a little bit scary, because they obviously think he can win. Yeah. And he definitely thinks he can win.
So you don't think he can win?
I mean, listen, it's a dangerous fight, but I think I'm very confident that Boots not just wins, but puts a performance together where everyone goes, wow. But I think this guy's bubbling. I mean, I think he's a top 10 pound for pound fighter now, but I understand, if you look at his resume, Stanionis win he was the best in the division, that was 1v2. Yeah. But you need those wins to rack up the points on the pound for pound list. I think this is the fight that puts him on the pound for pound list. And then I think, but you know, like, everyone in boxing knows how good Boots is. It's not like, but you still got to show it. And that's the only argument, is we haven't seen him had to show it too much.
With guys at this level. But you know what, Boots is also guys that have the potential to be top pound for pound. Comes with unfair expectations, right? Like, a win sometimes just isn't good enough for certain guys, and unfortunately, I think he's one of those guys that just the win, I don't know, satisfies the public, the pundits.
I think the difference is with him as well. It's a unique blend of ring IQ and aggression. Yeah. Right? So, like, you get a lot of guys that have a tremendous IQ, but they're not that great to watch. He's different. He actually, you know, he'll sit in the pocket. He can fight on the inside. He can fight long. Sometimes he takes too many shots because he's not afraid to get in there and mix it up. But you can't, listen, if you want to avoid criticism, get out of boxing, because it's like, you know, you go in there, you entertain, you get hit, and then it's like, oh, you got hit a lot. and then you box on the outside and don't get hit, it's like you're boring.
Right,
So what do you
right.
want? I mean, I like his style because I think it's a very entertaining style.
Was it a lot of pressure for you? Just, you know, it felt like you were kind of starting to get the, well, Boots hasn't fought anybody.
Yeah,
Eddie, what are you doing?
yeah.
Like, how do you deal with that?
Well, we got to deliver. I mean, like when we signed him, we fought Avanesian. We sold 15,000 in Philly when they told me he couldn't sell, so that was huge. Then we had to fight the mandatory, which is a disaster, Chudasian, because he'd already fought him.
Yeah.
But it's either fight him or lose your belt. So we fight him, we did like 11,000. So then it gets the momentum of, Eddie, he's been with you for 2 fights now.
Yeah.
Like you need to deliver. And then there was a lot of pressure to deliver that unification. We delivered Stanionis. He won that fight in style, looked fantastic. That was at Atlantic City.
Yep.
And then it's like, okay, he's moving to 54. And it's like, okay, let's go straight into a big fight. Boots and the guy said, look, I would just quite like a fight at 54 before I gamble. I just want to feel the weight. I want to feel my body, which is very reasonable, but not to a boxing fan.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So then we do Lima. He destroys him in a round. And Lima can actually fight, but obviously, you know,
didn't see that.
Then it was like, oh, who's this guy?
Yeah,
like, blah, blah,
yeah.
blah. And then it's like, now the pressure's back on. So we've done it again. We've delivered again.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, you can be the greatest fighter in the world. If you don't get the opportunities, if you don't get the right fights, if you don't get the platform, it's all irrelevant. And the hardest thing with Boots is everyone knows how good he is. And it was like the Chudasian fight, which was a okay performance, allowed us actually to get the Stanionis fight.
The second one.
Because they watched that fight. And
The
they,
second
yeah,
one,
the second one.
yeah.
But they watched that fight and they was like,
But actually, maybe
he's
can.
beatable. Yeah. And then he destroyed Stanionis and everyone's like, whoa.
Yeah.
And I think here what will happen is, you know, we got Josh Kelly as well, who beat Mertzalayev. We want to try and make Josh Kelly against Fundora. The winner of that fight fights the winner of Boots Zayas. You've got an undisputed champion.
That's a good fight. Okay. I mean, obviously, we have to talk about the Vergil situation. I mean, what made that negotiation so difficult? Because with the Xander one, Xander told me, he's like, yo, we did this in a couple of days. It was easy.
It was mainly the contractual dispute with Vergil and Golden Boy. I mean, that was the truth of it. I got to say, like, I don't think anyone didn't want the fight. I know that Vergil wanted the fight. I know he did. But obviously, he left Golden Boy. Golden Boy disputed that. And then they had a court case. And it was like, you know, that fight was pretty much there to be done. It's a little bit of a blessing because that fight, as good as it was, came with no belts.
Yeah.
So like this fight now presents itself. Boots can become a 2-time, 2-weight, twice unified world champion, which you couldn't get for the Ortiz fight. Don't get me wrong.
For sure.
It's an unbelievable fight, and it will happen. But yeah, it was like when that fell apart, we were like.
But I mean, even before the Golden Boy dispute, it felt like it was just. I'm just speaking from a public standpoint. I don't know privately what's going on, but it felt like it was a lot of back and forth, and it just couldn't come together. What was that like? That part, like why?
So we had a meeting in the DAZN offices with DAZN and Golden Boy, and we agreed a deal, which was 50-50, which I thought more than fair. But Oscar said that he wanted an extra percentage for the winner. He said, like, you know, backing his guy.
Yeah.
So I was like, cool. So we agreed 55-45 to the winner. And then it just never really progressed. And from there, obviously, later on, obviously, they had their differences. And I don't know why it never really progressed. I felt like we left that meeting with a deal, really.
Yeah.
But things happen. And then I think DAZN got quite aggressive on the fight and started sort of trying to say to Matchroom and Golden Boy, like, let's do it. We were making some momentum. Then those guys split, and it just kind of slipped away. You know, I don't know. Like I said, I met with Vergil, his manager, and he told me Vergil wants the fight.
Yeah.
You know, so I believe them, and I think Oscar wants to make great fights. So, you know.
Do you think there was a point where, because I know at one point Turki had did an interview once and he was like, you know, I was interested in trying to make the fight, but you know, I guess when Boots said he needed a tune-up, he kind of was like, you know, I'm not interested anymore. Kind of, that was his vibe. Do you think there wasn't a point where he wanted to step in, or do you think he was already kind of
Turki?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he loved the fight, but Boots has never, like Boots thinks the Saudi stuff's amazing, but he really wants to fight in the US. Like when there was a chance to do the fight in Riyadh, he was just like, this is a big US fight. Like, I think he feels like he can really make big fights in the US.
Yeah.
So we don't rule out the Riyadh opportunity. It's been great for boxing, but I think it's pretty cool that this fight's taking place in New York.
I agree. Do you feel like Turkey's kind of, he's not as visible as he was, I would say, like last year. I don't know if it's just, you know, it doesn't feel like as many cards. He doesn't talk in public as much anymore. Do you feel like, is the presence still the same to you? Like, is his
I think he's
involvement
busy.
still?
You know, I mean, boxing's a small part. It's a big passion for him.
Yeah.
But he has a huge job in terms of, you know, running the General Entertainment Authority in Saudi Arabia, and you know, his profile has become really big. I think the reality is as a business, it's hard to justify.
Yeah.
You know, especially the level of spend, and I think they've streamlined their operation a lot better. I don't think they're spending crazy money anymore like they used to, because there needs to be a business case for these events. Like, you can't just do a show and lose 20 million and go right on to the next one. Like, how long is that going to last for? It's not sustainable. So I think their model's changed a little bit, and I think the ring cards are great. Like, I think Shakur against Teo was a brilliant night. I really liked the night at the Flushing Meadows, the tennis courts.
I like that. That was a nice stadium.
Yeah, it was. Great atmosphere. So it's undeniable what he's done for the sport. And the truth is, there's no other reason that he's doing it other than his love and passion for boxing, which I think has to be admired. You know, like, don't get me wrong, it's obviously, you know, bubbling up the noise and the profile of Saudi Arabia in the process, which is, you know, good for their country and moving forward. But he has a real passion for boxing. But sometimes that passion can get you carried away. Yeah. And that's one of the toughest things about the business, is just keeping your head, you know, and not, because I love boxing. I love giving people opportunities. I love building an unbelievable night, because I'm a fan and I'm looking at it like, this is a great night of boxing. But you've also, like Frank Smith, who's our CEO, I call him Bottom Line Frank, right? Because he's always looking, but you need that. Yeah, you do. You can't just go in, because otherwise I'd put 20 fights on a night and we'd lose money. But we've got, you know, we have to be sustainable.
How is it for you that, you know, it felt like at one point with working with Turkey, you were the guy, right? You were his guy. That's what it felt. I'm just speaking outside looking in. And then obviously Dana comes in, and now it seems like the relationship's changed. I don't know personally or whatever, but business-wise. How was that for you? Like, you know, I'm the guy, and now this new guy's here.
I've never felt like the guy, because, you know, when we came in, Frank Warren was the guy. He had what Turkey wanted. Then Turkey wanted to work more with AJ, so I was the guy. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Then we've never not been in that association, but whether you're the guy or not depends on what he wants at the time. So right now, you know, we've just finished a new deal with him across a lot of his events, snooker, darts, like Riyadh season, like, because, and one of the reasons is that because he wants to make AJ Fury. Do you know what I mean? So so you get in those conversations, and I'm able to talk to him about the other stuff. Oh yeah, we must do that. We must do that. You know, rather than Eddie's got no fights, I'm interested at the moment. And I think if you understand people, and he's pretty honest, like, he won't pretend that I'm the guy, but he'll tell me that when I've got something he wants, I'm the guy. Right. Which is,
well, people go, front,
oh, that's a bit disrespectful. Not really. As long as you know the situation that you're in, that's cool. It was always the same with Canelo Alvarez when I promoted him. He's like, I love working with you. You know, whilst you keep having what I need and want, we're going nowhere. Yeah. But by the way, if you don't have anything for me and someone else has something better, I'm going to take that. Yeah. Cool.
You can respect that.
Yeah. But, and Turkey's the same. So I never look at it like, you know, the Dana stuff. I know Turkey, and I know that Dana will come and go, and Turkey will like it, then he won't like it, then they'll argue. Yeah. Then it might all fall apart, or he might double down. Like, anything's possible.
I like what feels like a rivalry now with you and Dana.
Yeah,
I kind of like
big,
it. You know, one is it's entertaining just to watch it, but two, I mean, I think there's something good about healthy competition, right? Like people going at it in that way. I mean, he's always like disparaging you online. He called you a pussy the other day on Aiden Ross's show. I think that was yesterday. He's always going at you, man.
Yeah. We've always got on pretty well, actually. I do respect him. I mean, the business that they've built is incredible. Like the UFC, I don't think the model's fair, but they make a lot of money. And then obviously he comes into boxing and just things change a little bit. You become a rival. It doesn't have to be nasty. But then he came straight out the gate really saying, you know, Eddie Hearn, these guys, they don't have any vision. And I'm like, well, are you crazy? Like, basically, every time we've met, you've always told me that I'm the guy in boxing and I'm the one that you kind of look at and know we do it properly. Now you're saying all this. So then I have to respond. You know, I come in interviews and Dana White said this about you. What have you got to say? Well, fucking tell you know. And then it all begins. But you see, there's a lot of method to the madness because I'm a UK promoter in the US, and Dana's doing my job for free. Really, like all he's doing is talking about me. When he's doing a UFC press conference, I mean, we signed Aspinal. We've got a number of big UFC fighters that we'll be signing as well. Yeah. Now he's doing his UFC press conferences. He's talking about me again. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, it's great for, and everyone's building this up as boxing right now is Eddie v Dana. Cool. Right. Like, even if I lose, which I won't, that's the, you know, and everybody else is kind of bubbling down here. So I'm happy to be in the fight. Because they're serious people. And if I can put myself on that level in a 2-horse race, I'm very happy. But what they don't know is anything about boxing. And the reality is, you can be powerful, but it's not the same as smart in the boxing game. It's a very different business. And I don't really think they know what they're doing.
So you don't get worried by the conglomerate, right? Like there's TKO Group and this and that
powerful,
and Paramount.
But powerful, but that doesn't mean anything. Like, what you can't do is come out and say, you know, I mean, these guys aren't competition, like talking about me and stuff like that. I mean, but what are you doing? Absolute, like the reality is, judge on what they've done so far, right? And I know they've said we've only been in the game 5, 6 months, whatever, but we're seeing the same thing all the time, which is low-level cards with guys generally you've never heard of, fighting in a garage, like in front of 100 people. Where's the vision there? Like, you know, these guys, they never change. What are you changing? What, you have to wear Zuffa shorts? Right. Or you get a free tracksuit when you fight? Or you can have a meal in the gym at the UFC? Like, it's not exactly groundbreaking, is it? So, but I still give them the respect to say, no, the group is a powerful group. But you can have power, but if you're not smart and you don't understand it, it doesn't really matter. Because boxing's not just one of those sports you can come in and just like switch it up. But I think they're lazy as well. I think they've become very lazy on the UFC as well. Like, look at the UFC, it's dying. Like, the reality is, you see there's an event in Miami this week, the tickets are on the floor. Who's the stars of the UFC? Like, and the way that they're promoting now, you know, when you come off pay-per-view, it's quite interesting. I like the model, but you're just not aggressive anymore as a promoter. You know, like when you're selling pay-per-views, it's like life and death every day. So it's like, right, what we got to do? Let's get out there. We've got to push the show. And that builds the ecosystem of the event. Now you're just getting your money, right? And the money's the same whether it's a good audience, a bad audience. It doesn't really matter. So now you've just got Dana going, all right, film this. What's up, everybody? This Saturday, blah, we got so-and-so against so-and-so, so-and-so. Right, that'll do. It's like, that's going to affect, and on the boxing front, there was a show last Sunday. I didn't even know it was on. I only saw it on Monday. I mean, I'm a hardcore boxing fan. So I think once you strip away, there's a saying that I always use, which is fur coat, no knickers. What's knickers? Knickers is underwear, right? So what it means is, you know, when you come out in a big fur coat, but when you strip it back, there's nothing really underneath. So this is how I see those guys, fur coat, no knickers, which is, you know, look at us, we're walking down in a beautiful mink jacket. You take it off, there's actually nothing underneath. Because when you say to them, tell me your plan. They go, with no governing bodies, like they're gone, and then all of a sudden they're moaning that someone's been stripped of a world championship. Now they want to work with the governing bodies, apparently, right? We're going to do this and we're going to create a league. Where's the league? You know, what is the actual plan? And I don't think they really have a plan. So we'll see. But how do you feel about the signings now with Richardson, Hitchins, and Berlanga? But no one wanted those guys. Like the reality is we had a couple of chats. We had those guys under contract a year ago. Berlanga, his contract was up. He got knocked out. Hitchins, we fell out with because of his comments, mainly Keith Connolly's. And then we just told Keith Connolly like 2 months ago, I'm not interested in working with you again. So Berlanga and Hitchins, no offer from Matchroom.
Okay.
Golden Boy, I think, had some chats with Hitchins. Top Rank weren't interested. So I think it's good deal for the fighters. Like, what else were they going to do? The bad news is Berlanga and Hitchins are different. Hitchins actually, it's a shame for Hitchins because I think he's good enough to sort of have a legacy in the sport. Now I guess they're going to move him to 47 and he's going to fight for the Zuffa belt, which is like literally the same value as your laces in those shoes. And then, but Edgar's different. Edgar's not really, I don't think, going to go and win world championships and unify the division. But if he can make money, do it. And I think it's a good move for him.
How do you gauge a fighter's value? Like somebody like Hitchins, right? Like how do you gauge it? Because you're like...
Very, very simple. Bums on seats in the venue and eyeballs on the screen. That's it.
That's what it boils down to for you personally, not the business, not the underlying guy.
No, that's the model. No, the same for Frank Smith, me or Frank Smith, because that's your revenue generator. Because if you don't sell tickets, you're not bringing a revenue to the show. If you don't draw eyeballs, DAZN are going to say this guy doesn't deliver value for us, and that's the problem that we've had with Richardson, but a lot of fighters as well. You know, like the reality is. But everyone's different. You've got Edgar, who sells more tickets than Richardson, but probably isn't as talented. But Richardson that sells no tickets, but he's very talented. So you can't just, we have to do our job of trying. That's why I got him the Cambosos fight at MSG. I paid up the rental of the theatre, which is a fortune, because I wanted to try and build him to try and turn the corner of becoming a star. Do you know what I mean? But it's definitely not easy.
So you're willing to take a loss to try to
We did, we did. But we might, at that time, I mean, Keith Connolly messed up bad because he got offered a brilliant deal from us like a year ago, but they messed it up and then they ended up getting half of that.
When you say messed it up, does that just mean over-negotiating? Like you're overcooking?
Yeah, it's greedy. Like, you know, but you got to push for your fighter. So, but you've also got to know a great deal when you see one. And then they ended up getting half of that to fight Duarte, which obviously pulled out of the day before. So I don't know how that's going to play out. But I hope, listen, you become toxified by the business and the sport sometimes. But he actually has a good heart. Like he's a good kid, Richardson. But unfortunately, you lose your head a little bit, and you always laugh when you go on Instagram stories and he's like that with the
shining
Rolex.
the diamonds. He's from Brooklyn. He's
got like the Mercedes badge on his car. It's like But listen, good luck to him. Good luck to him.
I mean, listen, the boxing business is a nasty one. I mean, we watched it play out with you and Conor Benn, obviously. He did an interview yesterday where he said, he said he didn't regret his decision, but he also was like, I got love for Eddie. I didn't, there's no hate in my heart for Eddie. I mean, do you look at it like it was just a business decision that he could have done better?
His business's decisions are fine. Like, there's nothing, the argument of this is, well, I had to do what was right for my family. Cool. I would always want that for you as my friend. But you don't think that after everything I did for you, which was save your career, which was make you, I don't know, 20 million, which was bring you back from the lowest depths of reputational damage and stand by your side and fight for you every inch of the way, that I deserve for your lawyer to write me an email to say, here's an offer we've had, match it. And then when I text you and say, hey, let's have a chat. Like, I feel like, we've done a lot for you. To get a reply to say, no, like deal with my lawyer and once it's all over, I just thought, wow. But that just goes to show the man. Like there's a lot of different people. Let's take Anthony Joshua. If someone approached Anthony Joshua and said, listen, I've got a massive deal for you, right? Don't tell Eddie. But blah, blah, blah. The first thing he would say was, speak to Eddie. He wouldn't even go on then. What's the number? He'd go, Eddie's my guy. Speak to him. Done. Right? Now, if you did say, all right, let me know. If you wanted to go down there and find out the number, I don't hold that against you. But then what you do is you phone me up and you go, just to let you know, these people have called me. They've offered me 15 million.
Yeah.
Right? And I go, they've offered you 15 million for a 10-rounder against Regis Prograis.
Yeah.
And he goes, yeah. And I go, okay, well, listen, firstly, seems like Turkey might be involved, whatever. Let me go and see if that exists. And if not, I think you might have to take that deal.
Right.
That's how it would have played out.
Right.
And just like I said to you before about Canelo, about Turkey, as long as you know where you stand and people up front with you can look you in the eye and say, listen, mate, whether you think this is right or wrong, this is what I've got to do.
Yeah, I got that.
You go, no problem. And I'd say to him, I'm so happy for you. You know, I'm disappointed we're not involved, but, you know, maybe we can be involved. Maybe we can, you know, help structure the deal, whatever.
Yeah.
But what he chose to be was greedy, cut me out, not have the balls, really. That's the thing. Do you know what I mean? Because what you've actually shown is your weakness as a man. And I heard his dad, you know,
You saw his dad say.
his dad was disappointed, trust me.
Yeah.
Trust me. But his dad has also got a back, Conor. You can't, you know. But also at the same time, I don't think there's anybody who has an ounce of common sense or respect or, you know, pride or goodness in their heart that doesn't agree that how can you not even speak to the guy?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We never fell out.
Yeah.
We were close. He leaned on me at all times. I lent him, you know, this is a thing.
He says you didn't lend him any
and he'll
money.
be apologising in public because he'll also, legally, he's got a problem. Because when he said that, he said, no, he never lent me a cent. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
Firstly, I lent you $500,000 to buy a house. And then secondly, I lent you nearly another $500,000 to buy a car, which you never paid me back for 3 years with no interest until I said, when you're good, we'll deal with it then.
Yeah.
Then he said, no. What actually I meant was he never lent me money for my legal fees. So he wanted me to lend him money to defend the 2 drug tests.
Yeah.
And I was like, didn't we? Oh. And then my team come back and went, yeah, we did. And what made it worse for me after that was I realised that I lent him the money for the legal fees and I never even asked for it back. And he still lied in the interview.
Wow.
And I said to him, look, I'm not trying to be like a pussy here, but you can't say that when you know I did. So he's going to have to apologise for that, which he will. He'll make a public statement. But I don't want any. But you can't sit there and say all these things that are just completely untrue.
You mean defamation, basically?
Yeah, but again, I'm not like, you know, that's not something that I make a habit of. I've done it a few times where I say, you just can't say. Like if I'm telling you what I did, and then he comes out and he says, no, he never, and it's a straight lie. Yeah. I'm not just going to sit there and go, you can't make people question what I'm saying when I've got no reason to lie. Yeah. But he's a bit, like he's a very emotional kid. It won't be easy for him, this whole thing, because he doesn't like negative, like he doesn't like people criticising him. And there's been I mean, he'll get booed out of the stadium on Saturday.
Yeah.
Like,
I've heard a lot of people are against, you know, the UK fans.
Yeah,
like
big time. But do you know what? That's infuriating, because I worked for years to turn it all around for him. And he actually, after the Eubank fight, was a very popular fighter.
I was there for the second one.
And now you'll see on Saturday. But yeah, he'll get booed out of the stadium.
Would you consider working with him again? Like they said, it's a
very
one-fight
difficult.
deal.
Yeah, but it's not. It's all bullshit anyway. Like and by the way, there's a legal problem on that as well, because you dress it up in a way so that it can't be matched. Whereas the underlying truth is, do you think that there's been no conversations between Keith Connolly and Zuffa about a longer-term deal? What, are you stupid? But so there's something called disclosure, which is great and stuff like that, because you get to see it when you want. Yeah. And we'll make sure that, you know, we weren't lied to, which I have my doubts. Yeah. But
if he came to you like, listen, Eddie, you know what? Let's just say it was a one-fight deal. Like, I agree.
It'd be very difficult.
Yeah.
Because it's like, firstly, you need the conversation of, like, honestly, this is one of those things where I'm renowned for letting things slide and moving on. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's actually one of my dad will say to me all the time, how the fuck do you, like, didn't that guy, like, I'm like,
Barry
yeah,
not
but you know
playing
what?
that?
No, Barry's like, we're done.
Yeah.
We're done. He's old school.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck you, don't ever show your face around here again. Right. For life, to the grave. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
I like that.
But I'm not. I'm like, listen, it's like, I care, but people can change, people can get bad advice, like, but this is a weird one. It's like, I'm getting angrier.
Right.
Because I'm watching his interviews, I'm like, what the fuck? I feel like I've been played. Do you know what I mean? I'm listening to him going, what are you, a compulsive liar or something?
Yeah.
Like, I've had you in my office on your knees in tears. Like, and I've actually gone to the depths, even myself. Like, you know, like, you may know, you're not, like, I went through a couple of years of heavy stick.
Oh, I
like,
remember.
I was getting battered, yeah? And I was like, no, fuck you. I believe in this kid. I'm standing by, and it was like...
When they said the eggs, they was killing them.
No, of course, yeah, but it was like, no, no, no. And then I'm listening to this back, I'm like, what was it, a bluff? Like, what? So it's actually making me more angry.
Yeah.
And the fact is he's never tried to say, listen, can we have a chat? Can we have a meet up? But honestly, if he did now, I'm not even sure what I'd do. Like, normally, I'd go, yeah, cool, like, we'll have a chat, but I don't know, it's a weird one.
I wanted to ask you about the Dana thing, because you said you guys are managing the UFC fighters now. Obviously, you got Tom Aspinal was the first signing. I kind of liked it when you did it. Like, it kind of, you know, it showed you got some balls, right? Like, he pulled the Conor, you pulled your move. For you, was that something you were already looking into, or was it like, you know, well, we got a match that just happened?
As a group, I think we have massive potential as a management agency. We don't want to manage boxers because it's a conflict of interest, and obviously you can't in the US because of the Muhammad Ali Act anyway. Another thing they're trying to get abolished. But, so we've been looking at an agency for some time, and then obviously this happened, and then Tom Aspinall's dad reached out to me, and he's like, look, you know, we've got a few problems. Would you ever think about representing? And I was like, wow, this is cool. So Eddie signs the UFC undisputed heavyweight champ. Yeah, and it allows me to look at their business, look at the contracts, and of course, you know, from a profile perspective, a noise perspective, it was interesting. But I also believe I can do a great job for Tom, and we're doing that already. Yeah. And it's frightening what I see when I open up those contracts, you know. Like, I mean, we live in a world in boxing where, and good luck to them, but fighters are drastically overpaid in terms of the revenue in the pot. Yeah. Right? In UFC, they're drastically underpaid in terms of the revenue in the pot. But like literally, Tom Aspinall, who is one of the biggest names in UFC, he's the heavyweight undisputed champ. Like, you've got guys who are opening up the broadcast on shows that most people have never ever heard of that are making more money than Tom Aspinall. That's crazy. And it's like, I can't believe it. By the way, congratulations, UFC. What a business. Yeah. But it ain't fair. Yeah. Like, it's just not fair. Like, and Tom Aspinall comes out of a bout, gets 2 of his eyes gouged out. He's had 3 operations on his eyes, or 4 operations on his eyes. For what? Like, now he's got a rematch Pereira or Game. Like, it's not even really, for the money he's supposed to be getting, it's not even really worth it. By the time you pay your taxes and your team, what, to go back in there and lose your sight or something like that? Like, you've got to be fair. If there's 80 million in the pot, don't be giving my guy $1 million. Fuck, it's main event. Yeah. I see. Tell me about this. We just had the Wilder Chisora fight. It was a good, like, I'm not gonna lie, I enjoyed the old guys. It felt like 2 of my uncles, like, rumbling in the backyard. It didn't feel like a boxing match. But you know, there was the one clip where you guys are standing on the side, you and AJ. He walks right by you, doesn't look at you, no one says anything, but you can feel the tension like in the clip. It's like a thing. What did you make of that moment? Like him just great. Like, I mean, it's like, we need that, right? And that was the thing with Wilder and Chisora is, I mean, I was 6 feet away. It wasn't the sweet science, but it was gripping. It was thrilling. It was like, and obviously AJ was there screaming and shouting because he loves Derek. And, you know, I never really... Do you know what? Through the whole fight, I never really even thought about AJ v Wilder. And then when we were standing on the ring walk area and he was walking down, it's quite a famous scene now, I was like, oh, fuck, like this. And he came down and he's like, let's do it. And AJ just sort of went...
Just looked at him.
But everyone around was like, whoa. Like, and I started thinking to myself, this is a big fight. Yeah. You know, I mean, look, they're both, like, AJ's definitely in the back end of his career. Wilder's definitely in the back end of his career. You know, I said yesterday, I think some of the... we're going to fight before we fight Tyson Fury, right?
Yeah.
And we're looking to fight Tyson Fury. We'll see what happens at the weekend, but probably around November time. So we're going to fight around July. I said yesterday, a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but we'll take Wilder as our warm-up in July.
Yeah.
I mean, you imagine AJ went Wilder and Fury.
That's crazy.
Straight off the bat in 2026, especially after everything that's happened to him.
Absolutely.
You know, like, I think, and listen, Wilder will always be dangerous, but I just think AJ flattens him.
But why did it not happen before? Because I interviewed Wilder in December.
Don't forget that everybody signed for that fight.
Yeah.
And the night that he lost to Joseph Parker, we were getting in the ring, doing a face-off and announcing the fight.
Yeah.
Right? So it was done.
So if he would have won that would have happened.
Done. Both guys had signed.
But I'm saying, so look, I interviewed him in December. It went viral, but there was a time he said, I offered them, my people sent the offer for $50 million. And he said, I think Joshua wanted it, and Eddie was the one that turned it down.
What he did was, he sent an email from deontay.wilder@gmail.com. Swear truth, right? Might have been a Yahoo account, right? But from his own personal account, saying, hello, Eddie, Anthony, whatever, I would like to offer 50 million for you to fight me. That was it, right?
Yeah.
So I reply, and I go, thank you, but could you tell me, like, could we get a contract?
Yeah.
Who's paying the money? What's the details? Blah, blah, blah. And they come back to me and they said, you have to confirm you accept the fight before we give you that information or send you a contract. I'm like, fuck, what is this? This is like, so I said, no, send the contract and we'll, you know, and that was it. But for me, it was always a game to say, well, we offered them 50 and they turned it down. It's like, all we did was ask for a contract. I never replied saying no. I just said, where's the money?
Yeah.
Like, I can't take, is this even Deontay Wilder? I don't know. Like, could be some guy, next thing I've got to pay a 20 grand deposit into an account to get the contract. I don't know, is it? Right. So that was what happened. But back in those days, it was wild because then Al Heyman, John Skipper from DAZN, I think Lou DiBella, whoever it was at the time, they all had a meeting. And then Wilder got offered something crazy like 40 million, 60 million, so like a multi-fight deal. And they turned it down. Al turned it down, you know? And it was like, I've got to be honest, like there was a lot of bad feeling at that time between AJ Wilder, me, Al. Like, I had a meeting in New York with Al to talk about the fight.
Just you and Al?
Yeah, me, Al, and Shelley Finkel.
Yeah.
And he weren't happy. Do you know what I mean? Because I was like, and I'm still trappy, but not as trappy as I used to be. Yeah. And he don't like me, or he didn't like me then. Because I met him previously when he wanted to do the Chavez Froch fight, and he was all over me. Very pleasant. When I met him this time, he didn't even want to look me in the eye. I thought, this fight ain't happening. Right. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I think that's what happened. But I think everyone's matured. I mean, Wilder's matured. You can tell that he's like, yeah, of course. And I have as well. So now I'm like, whatever, let's just make the fight. Whereas back then it was like, fuck you. No, fuck you. No, all right, we're not doing it. Right. Which is, you know, not good, really.
How does it get for you to be that close with AJ? Like you building friendships with your clients in that way? Because I feel like, I don't say it's like a dangerous game, but right, like how the Conor thing is.
I
like
want that because I want to be emotionally invested in the journey because that's the enjoyable part, right? I don't want it to be a job. I don't want to just worry about that. I want to see you achieve your dreams, make a load of money, but I want a small, not just a percentage of the money, but a percentage of the emotion. Yeah, my dad always said to me, if you can get 1% of the adrenaline that a fighter gets when they walk to the ring, you're very lucky. I feel like I get 50% of that adrenaline sometimes. Yeah. You know, actually today is the 10-year anniversary of when Anthony Joshua won the world heavyweight title. Oh, wow. And I look back, you know, I've been working for him now for coming up to 15 years. That's a long part of my life. Yeah. You know, that's like over, well, like a quarter, a third of my life. And he's been a big part of my life. Sure. And I have so much respect for him as a person and a fighter. But like, you know, you look at the Conor Benns, like these people are like chalk and cheese. He signed a lifetime contract with me, like 2 years ago, 3 years ago. But before that, he signed 3 extensions, right? And I'll tell you a story, because Dana White's relevant. about 2 contracts ago, the media ran a story. AJ in talks with Dana White. And I'm like, the fuck?
Right.
So it's in the paper, right? So I go and see AJ and we've got a media thing and I went, yo, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, he called me out of the blue. And I'm like, what? And he went, I told him straight away, I said, I'm with Eddie. He said, but we had a good chat. Like, we talked for like half an hour. Because AJ likes to listen. And so I'm like, what?
Did it make you feel like, you're like, oh,
no,
shit,
but I was like, what? And then, funnily enough, about 6 months later, I went to Dana's office and we had a meeting. And I said, oh, I hear you spoke to AJ. He said, yeah, and you know something he said to me? Within the first 5 seconds, just to let you know, I'm not leaving Eddie. He's my guy, but let's talk. He goes, and I respected that. I was like, wow. Like,
wow. Yeah.
And he's been offered deals along the way when our contract had come to an end that were much better short-term money options for him.
Right.
And when you looked at them, again, fur coat, no knickers, when you looked at the outset, you were like, wow. But then it was like, oh, you got to do this, and it's a 5-year deal, and blah, blah, blah.
Extension.
But he never even, it was like, let me look at that. It was just like, no, I'm with Eddie. So whatever, but Eddie can look at it. And, you know, and I've got so much respect for him because there's a few fighters, probably a handful of fighters that I feel the same way about, like AJ, that I would literally, like, in an empty room with 1 or 2 people, they'd have your back in a conversation. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And in life, you know, there ain't a lot of people like that.
That's true.
Especially in a game like boxing. So I will always be indebted to him, not just as a company, because he's helped us and he's now a shareholder in my business because of what he's done for me and the company.
Was there a moment that made y'all that close like that? Was there a specific...
He's always been very, like, you got to really build and earn his trust. Like, he's always been quite a sort of curious... But, like, I remember once he said to me, when we just started working together, he went, you're not like Don King, are you? And I'm like, mate, no, Don King, like, literally did time for murder. Do you know what I mean? Like, but it takes time for him to really trust you, because you get told, these guys, be careful. The promoters, whoa. But actually, I think that's actually a bad rap for promoters. I actually think promoters care. And I think in general, of course, they've got a business to run, but there are bigger snakes out there than promoters, trust me when I say. But, like, yeah, I like the guy a lot. He inspires me a lot. And also, he's one of those guys where you can learn a lot from, because he gets every ounce out of his ability and his life. He works hard, man. You know, and I think that's admirable, that he's still, to this day, on the grind, like working harder than he did and smarter than he did even when he started, when he had nothing.
Just a couple more questions. When you found out about the accident, when you got the call, like, where were you? What did you think? Like, did you know he was safe?
I was on holiday, actually, and a journalist that I know from the UK, literally I woke up and the phone was going with this guy, Riaf is his name, and he only really calls me when there's quite a big story. Do you know what I mean? So whenever I see his number, I'm like, fuck.
Something,
you know?
something.
So I go, oh. So I went, Riaf. He went, hey, mate, I just wondered if you've heard anything from Anthony about the car accident. And I hadn't even been on social or anything at this stage. I'm like, what? Anyway, he sent it all to me. I'm like, obviously called AJ, but he didn't have his phone, like, you know. And then it starts coming back that he's okay, you know, and obviously you can see the video of him getting in the ambulance or police car or whatever, in pain. And then they said that they think some people in the car might have died. And then I started speaking to his friends and the team, and it's like, we found out that Cena and Lats, or I noticed they were on the trip. And you're just like, please, fuck no. Yeah. You know, and then obviously you see some videos surfacing, you see some guys on the floor, which was horrible, and, you know, we knew it was them. And it was just like, I think, even for us, and, you know, I knew those guys for 10 years plus, we weren't like speaking every day, but they were great souls. Like, you'd say, hey, what's up? Yeah. And even I can't digest it. you know? Like, it's difficult for me to comprehend that those guys won't be there anymore or around. For him, who spent every day with those guys, like, you can only imagine the pain, physical and you know, he's a very strong mind, but he's also a deeply spiritual, and he's a very deep thinker. Do you know what I mean? So my immediate concern was always him.
Yeah.
And that's like, even now people will say to me, is he okay? Like, I don't think you ever really get over something like that, if I'm honest, but you manage it.
Yeah.
Right? And the thing that helps him manage it is boxing. And the regimental lifestyle that saved him in the first place. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When he was in trouble, when he was losing a little bit of direction in life, where he had no motivation, where he had no path, where boxing gave him that. So now I see him back in training camp, I'm happy.
Yeah.
And I feel safe for him. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, when he's out and he's injured, that was the worst thing. You know, he had some terrible injuries from the accident. And that was he was still in the gym trying to do his recovery and stuff like that. And it's like, but then I know he's at home on his own. Yeah. And that's when you're sitting there and you're thinking and your mind's going and, I mean, how'd you sleep, you know? And then, once he starts recovering, which is now, he's in with Usyk. He's training twice a day. You get that purpose back in life, you know, where you're like, there's a means to my work and my life.
Yeah.
And when he's in that era, when he's in that mode, he's happy. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
He'll still be in pain. He'll be in pain forever. But that's his happy place. So right now, I love what I'm seeing for him, which is a motivated AJ. You know, he's going to the Fury fight this week.
Yeah.
He don't go to fights. He went last week. Now he's going this Saturday. So he wants the smoke.
Yeah, okay. Lastly, we got a couple other Oshaquie Foster, Ray Ford finally done. I'm excited
nearly.
for that.
I mean, look, Ring, Mike Coppinger gladly announced that was done.
Yeah.
Mason Cordina was done. Neither are done. Ford Foster is close.
Yeah.
Mason Cordina talks. But Ford Foster's a great fight.
I love that.
When there's, like, sometimes you get guys together and I'm looking at it, I go, this is a big fight.
Yeah.
And I got those two together. I'm like, just roll, guys. Like, fuck you. Yeah, I'm going. I'm like,
right.
Perfect. So yeah, May 30th, hopefully, another great World Championship fight.
Okay. Well, listen, man, Eddie, I appreciate your time, sir.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much. Very great interview, Mr. Eddie Hearn. We out of here.